feeling of happiness.
Music and the spoken word. Brought to you by Ken Garff St. George Ford Lincoln. Sundays at 7 and 1 on Radio St. George 100.3.
Participate in the conversation. 435-879-4100. We are Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Good morning and welcome to KDXI St. George, Radio St. George at 100.3 FM. It's our pleasure to present to you The Garden Show with Artie and Woody. It's time to find out, how does your garden grow? Here are your hosts for The Garden Show, Artie and Woody.
Good morning, everybody. It's time for another exciting edition of the Home and Garden Show with Artie and Woody. Actually, it's Woody and Artie. You get top billing.
Hello.
Hey, Woody.
I'm awake.
I'm trying to stay awake myself.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have such an exciting show.
How could you sleep through it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And folks, we want to welcome you to the Home and Garden Show. Home and Garden Show. Lots of home repair tips, gardening tips, yard work tips, things like that.
Questions answered.
Absolutely. You can, speaking about questions, you can call us at any time. It's 435-879-4100. 435-879-4100. If you don't feel like talking to us over the phone, you can always text us at that number. You can also email us. It's radiostgeorge@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook.
We're on everything.
Oh yeah, we're streaming live on Facebook, so that's exciting. And yeah, what else do we? Oh, we want to thank Sean Denovan.
The Grand Poopah.
Oh, he's so awesome. He's an instructor / genius here at Dixie State University. We want to thank him for letting us do the show. So thanks to Sean Denovan. All right, well, Woody, what do we have planned for today? What are we going to talk about? What's going on with the show?
You know, I thought it would be a good week to take a break from some of our discussions and talk about, before it's too late to do it, talk about seeds that we can plant directly and, grow the plants and the vegetables without having to buy the plants.
Well, you know what? I failed miserably doing that. What did you give me about three months ago? It was Texas
measles.
It wasn't. It wasn't Texas bluebonnets. It was.
Oh yeah.
Was it Texas bluebonnets?
Uh-huh.
Of course. I put them in a hanging basket.
You have a brown thumb. Everything you try to grow dies.
No, it's not coming up, and I water it all the time. I put the Miracle Grow. Expecting a miracle. So,
right.
Do I use just like 2 gallons worth of Miracle Grow or what?
One of the problems, Artie, is when you say I water it all the time. That usually means twice a week, and
no,
it's twice a day that you need to,
Oh, twice a day? I need to water it twice a day?
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Well, there you go. Do you want me to come over and water it for you?
I
wouldn't mind driving 10 miles each way and watering your plants every day.
I'm a lawn chair lady that likes to sit out back, and she sits in her lawn chair, and she has binoculars, and she
I know.
nonstop. She just lays there and looks through her binoculars to see what I'm doing. So
what's her name? Marta Hari?
Let's see. It's Gladys.
Oh, Gladys.
Gladys. Yep.
Gladys. Okay, I thought it was Beulah.
No, it's Gladys. It's the same. It's the same name of the nosy neighbor from the hit TV show Bewitched.
Oh, I
remember
see.
that one?
I do.
Yeah, it was Gladys. Was her name Gladys? Anyway, so I should actually have my lawn chair lady, water my plants.
I'm old enough to remember Howdy Doody.
Howdy Doody.
Yeah, on TV.
Oh, that was a Muppet, wasn't it? Or a puppet or something?
Yeah,
Or
something like that, Artie.
Oh, so go back to the subject before I derailed the conversation. Seeds, planting seeds instead of buying the
right. You don't. In other words, there's an inexpensive way to do some of this, and I want to talk about some of the great things that grow directly from seeds. You can just plant them in the garden, and 5 or 6 days up they come, and so on. So I kind of got a list.
5 or 6 days.
Yeah.
It's been 5 weeks
I know.
for me.
I know. They're dead, Artie. Have a funeral.
Oh, my gosh. What do I do?
I would cremate them.
I do nothing but kill plants.
Well, yeah.
See, that's why it's the Home and Garden Show with Woody, not Artie.
Right.
I'm just here for the ride.
I plant them, you kill them. We should be funeral directors for plants.
I mean, you're the guy with all the knowledge, all the advice. So, all right. So seeds.
Okay,
Talk to us about seeds.
Let's talk about some of the flowers to start with, and then we'll get into the vegetables. One of the kind of interesting things that you can do with flowers, nasturtiums are a fun flower to grow, and they're really easy to grow.
What was that one more time?
Nasturtiums.
Did you make that up? That's not a.
That's a $5 word.
That's not real.
Yeah.
That's not a name of something.
No, it is.
You just made that up.
And what I was going to tell you about them is they have leaves that kind of look like lily pads in a pond.
Oh.
And when they bloom yellow and orange and red.
Huh.
And they have these kind of trumpet-shaped flowers on them. But here's the unusual thing. You can pick the flowers and go float them in your soup and eat them.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're actually edible.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, some people like to entertain and be sophisticated and do unusual things. And you can actually float these in soup and people can eat them. I personally haven't done it, but you can.
So it's something fancy. You float flowers in the soup.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
It's like having the going to Hawaii and having the lathe around your neck it's in your soup.
Wow, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. One of the other things that you can now everything that we talk about today is available at Sunset in their seed department and Lowe's.
You mean Sunset
Star Nursery
on Sunset
at Sunset and all its locations. Lowe's has them, and Buck's Ace Hardware in over by the new Smiths, and also out in Hurricane. They have all these different seeds. And let's see who else has them.
Nice people at Star, by the way. Nice people at Buck's.
Yeah.
I kind of tend to want to shop local.
Yeah.
But the big box stores have them as well.
Yeah, they do. Yep. So I want you to know where you can get them. One of the things you can buy, they have a seed that's called a hummingbird and butterfly mix, and they grow flowers that attract hummingbirds and butterflies. There's flowers of a certain color that attract those.
Really?
And they're also flowers that are easy for them to pollinate. So that's kind of a neat thing to do if you like to have hummingbirds flirting around your garden and butterflies. We, in our garden about 3 or 4 days ago, there was a great big bright yellow butterfly.
Oh, wow. About
2 inches across. It was a big one. And we watched it for about a half hour in our garden going from flower to flower.
You guys don't have TV?
Yeah, no. We'd rather watch the butterflies. And, I realized you kind of have to be a little bit careful because, like, as an example, when I see caterpillars, I generally terminate them. if you know what I mean.
Why?
But if you terminate your caterpillars, you're not going to have butterflies. So you have to think about those kind of things. And I particularly love birds of different kinds. And so let's talk a minute about attracting birds to your yard. You want to have a water source and you want to have a feeder where you can put seed and sunflower seeds and mealworms and slices of orange. They'll attract the birds if you like to watch the birds. So
I was thinking about getting the hummingbird feeder with the red goop.
Well, yeah, don't buy that. The red goop it's a dye, and you're better off to mix your own. My wife can give you the recipe for it, and it's basically sugar water.
Oh, I was going to say table drippings.
No, yeah, sugar water.
Like bacon
and it's fun to see
bacon
them.
fat.
Fun to see them coming.
So it's sugar water.
Yeah, they'll actually get in line, and then one will go in and get a little refill, and then he leaves, and another one goes in and gets a refill.
Why do they dye it red?
I don't know. It's an old thing they've done for years. Okay. I think it's because it attracts the birds.
Okay.
The red color, but it's not particularly good for the birds to dye.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. One of the other flowers that's really good are sunflowers. Sunflowers you can buy sunflowers that grow a foot tall to 8 feet tall.
When's a good time to plant those?
Right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay.
And they're really neat for several reasons. First of all, they're very unique looking. You can get them that the flower itself is 2 inches across, or you can get them that is 12 inches across. They produce seeds, obviously, sunflower seeds, but the birds love them. So if you want to attract birds, have sunflowers.
They look so great. They smell wonderful. They're a great flower.
And they have them now that are rust colored, that are yellow, that are all kinds of different colors.
You mean they have designer sunflower plants?
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
They have them that are. There's a new one in the seed section now called Fire Catcher, and it's almost red.
So they grow. They grow pretty fast and pretty high, don't they?
Yeah,
like 5 or 6 feet, or
the only thing you have to think about is they'll turn and face the sun.
Yeah.
So if you plant them on the east side of your house or the west side of your house, they'll turn toward the evening sun, and you won't be able to see them. So if you're gonna see them, you have to put them on the east side of your house.
I see, yeah.
So that they turn to the west and you can see them.
Oh,
because
cool.
they follow the sun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's neat, huh?
Yeah, good to know.
Okay, so we're going to move on here because we have a lot to cover. We got the sunflowers. Now we're going to talk about vegetables and some of the things you can grow very easily, and we want to start out with the arugula.
Okay.
Arugula is a leafy vegetable like spinach.
I was about to say spinach.
Yeah. And people like to have arugula in their salads. And it's kind of a peppery taste and a little bit bitey. And it's gotten to be kind of a fad to have arugula on your pizza and different things like that. I'm not much of a fan for it on pizza, but salads is pretty good.
Is it so? It's kind of like a trendy thing, like kale.
Right. And it's easy to grow. It'll come up within a week, and as the leaves get 3 or 4 inches tall, you just snip them off, and it'll grow again. And then you snip them off, and it'll grow again. So it isn't like harvest it and it's through. They'll go until they freeze to death.
Now
in the fall.
Is is that pretty much the same thing with lettuce and kale?
It is. It is.
Where it
it
regenerates.
You just trim it, and then it starts over.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of neat.
So cabbage and all that, the whole shebang.
Yeah. Cabbage, if it's a leafy cabbage, is like that. But if it's a cabbage head, then once you pick it, it's done.
Okay.
The next thing I want to talk about are beans.
Okay.
They have all kinds of beans that you can grow. Beans are pretty easy to grow.
Are they really?
Yeah. There's basically two kinds of beans that take in all the bean types, and the first one's a bush bean. It grows.
Wait, you can get that in a can.
Yeah.
With brown sugar.
Right.
Bush beans.
It's named after the president. Bush.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They grow in like a shrub, and they're a bush, and they're low to the ground, and they have the beans hanging from them. Okay.
So it's not like a vine.
The other type of bean is a pole climbing bean.
Okay.
That's a vine.
Okay.
And you put a trellis by it, and it climbs up the trellis, and the beans hang off of the plant as it grows. Okay?
That's interesting.
And right now is the best time to plant beans.
Okay.
And you can have, string beans and all that type of thing. And they're really fun. And, we always, when I was a kid, my dad would bring home some beans from where he worked. He worked in produce. And, you boil them up, you steam them and boil them, and you put maybe a slice or two of bacon in there.
Oh, and some garlic.
And to give it a little flavor, and then drain it off and
eat the bacon and throw away the beans.
Yeah, eat the pot, throw away the bacon. No, you don't throw away the bacon.
No.
And now it's gotten to be a kind of a fad to grow pinto beans, like the Mexican refried beans, and black beans. They're popular with Mexican food.
So what do? You hand pluck every bean?
Yeah.
Isn't there like a machine or?
Oh yeah, you could buy a
bean picker.
Yeah.
I don't have time to pick little beans.
That's okay.
I don't have time for that.
I'll come do it for you.
Because you don't have a TV.
You're right. I don't. Yeah.
You don't have a TV.
There's nothing on there. That's a great wasteland.
I'm giving you a hard time.
I know you are. Okay, so we got the Mexican beans, the black ones, and the pinto and Mexican red beans, and they're all popular. You can make soup out of them, or you can make like refried beans. Okay.
Sounds good.
Next item are beets.
Okay.
And
my least favorite vegetable.
Beets are your less favorite?
Yeah.
I like beets when they're pickled beets.
Why do they exist?
Why do they exist? I don't know, but I'll tell you something. They're the most popular seed they sell. They sell more beet seeds than any other kind of seed.
Wait, can you hear my voice? Because I think I
just lost you.
Yeah.
And I think I just lost myself.
Can you hear yourself?
I can't. What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. What the heck? We're probably still live on the web, so we probably should
Plug us
continue
back in,
on.
Artie. I was just getting going.
Oh, well, let's keep going because people are still listening on the web. Why is it? I can see the levels.
And they're not there, huh?
No, our levels are there. Let's just keep going because I think people are still. Just talk.
If you're out there, call in. Tell us if you can hear.
No, here, just tell us about beans while I try to figure out what's going on.
Okay, beets are really neat. You can cook them plain, or you can pickle them. I like them pickled on a salad. you know, chop them up, put them on a tossed salad, put your lettuce in there, put your onions in there, and put your beets in there, and they're really good. So, hello, party. Hello, dive. Mayday.
No, keep on talking about beans.
Okay.
We're live on the web. So.
Okay, the next thing we want to talk about are melons.
Oh, I love melons.
Yeah. Watermelon, honeydew melons, cantaloupe, let's see, we talked about honey melons, cantaloupe. There's a lot of different melons, and melons do really good down here, and they do really good from seeds. So that's something that you would plant right now. When you plant seeds, melons, you want to have them in kind of a sandy soil with good drainage, and kind of have a loose soil, and they do really well. Watermelon does really well down here. And, of course, when you harvest it, then you want to put it in the fridge and get it nice and cold, because the colder it is, the better. They're really fun. Cabbage is something you can plant from seed that does well down here also. There's several types of cabbage. One of the popular things that's happened is the Chinese cabbages, the bok choy, and the different types of miniature cabbage has become really popular. And those are mainly, I guess you can use them in a salad, but they mainly chop those up and put them and cook them and put them in Chinese food. So that's a different type of cabbage that people are it's really popular now. Next item are carrots. You know,
Carrots. We love carrots.
Yeah, we love carrots. There's all kinds of different carrots. There's carrots that are long and skinny, that are big around. There's carrots that are different colors. We have some seeds for a kaleidoscope mix of carrots that has orange carrots, purple carrots, white carrots, and they're all mixed together. And carrots contain an element called carotene, and they use it for diabetics to sweeten like chocolate and so on. It's a sweetener, and if you grow carrots and you're successful and you harvest them at the right time, they'll be really, there we go, Artie. They'll be really sweet, and they'll be, you can use them cooked, like on a roast on Sunday, put them in with the roast as this cooking, or you can slice them up and put them in a salad, or you can juice them and have the juice. So carrots are really have a lot of different functions, a lot of different things that you can do with them. I like ones, there's some called scarlet nanties that are particularly sweet and grow really well. And they have some called short and sweet, and they're a carrot that only grows about 4 inches long, and you pick them when they're fairly young, and they're real sweet. One of the things in my family that we do with carrots is put them in soup, and they tend to sweeten the soup.
I love soup.
Yeah, I do too.
Now, carrots and soup. You're talking about carrots and soup?
Yep, we're talking about carrots and soup. Are you back?
Cream of carrot
Yeah,
soup?
I've got to have my medicine, Artie. You're scared.
You're drinking your Diet Dew? No, I'm Diet Dew. You're Diet Coke.
I have a prescription for it. One of the next item I'd like to talk about are cucumbers. You can plant those from seed, or you can buy the plant, but they only take about a week to come up, and they do really well from seed. Cucumbers you want to plant in a sunny area where they get 6 hours of sun a day, and where they cucumbers, again, like beans, you can get a bush cucumber or you can get a climbing cucumber in a vine.
All right.
Okay.
We have 45 seconds before our first break.
This
is exciting.
You're really making it hard. You're putting me under stress.
It's like a real radio show. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? You know the technical difficulties that we had about 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
I will be honest with you. That was completely my fault.
That doesn't surprise me, Artie.
I used to do radio in Salt Lake for years, and you would think I would know what I'm doing. But you know what? You know why we couldn't hear ourselves?
Why?
Because the volume switch was down.
Oh, that'll do it.
No, that's so embarrassing. All right, it's the Home and Garden Show with Woody and Artie on Radio St. George. All right, we'll be right back.
This is Dave Smith, host of Ozark Highlands Radio. This week, we'll take a trip back to the vaudeville days of the 1920s as we feature music and interviews with a genuine Memphis-style jug band, the Jake Leg Stompers. Historian Dr. Brooks Blevins explores the history of the Ozark Opry. And of course, I'll be making my weekly trip down to the vault for a visit with my old buddy, Mark Jones. This week on Ozark Highlands Radio.
Ozark Highlands Radio, Sunday nights at 10 on Radio St. George 100.3.
Snow Canyon, Sand Hollow, Quail Creek, Red Cliffs, Gunlock, Baker, and more BLM land than you can shake a stick at. And all great places for camping in southern Utah. Camping World RV Sales is a supporter of Radio Dixie and Radio St. George. Camping World has RVs, trailers, outdoor camping gear, generators, and financing available. Camping World, 1500 Hilton Drive in St. George.
Outdoor furniture to endure the desert climate. Comfort, easy maintenance, custom made for your home. Outdoor Living, located at 735 South Bluff Street in St. George. Outdoor Living offers in-home consultation and design for custom outdoor furniture. Outdoor Living, a proud sponsor of the radio program here at Dixie State University. A reminder to all DSU students that the DSU Police Department has a secure lost and found drop box in their lobby, which is available 24/7 and video monitored. So if you have lost important items such as cash, wallets, cell phones, computers, or jewelry, then make sure to head down to the DSU Police Department. And to report a lost item, go to publicsafety.dixie.edu.
Get your child involved with Brooks Buddies Kids Club today. For only $5, your child will get free admission to all DSU home athletic events, opportunities to meet athletes and coaches, be on the field with the players, and much more. Register online at DixieStateAthletics.com or sign up at the Brooks Buddies Kids Club table on the south side of the stadium at any home football game.
Radio St. George 100.3 is one of 2 radio stations at Dixie State University. The broadcast facility's primary goal is for the education of those interested in radio. As a DSU student, you have the opportunity to get hands-on radio experience with 2 real-life FM radio stations. Curious? Want to be a DJ or have a talk show? Record audio? Do live sports broadcasts or more? Take the radio class at DSU and be a part of Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
Enjoy music till dawn, overnights, on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
We now return to The Garden Show with Artie and Woody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's the Home and Garden Show with Woody and Artie on Radio St. George 100.3.
Are you going to turn the volume down again?
Ladies and gentlemen, I turned down the volume, and I thought there was a technical glitch, but I just turned down the volume.
You were the glitch.
I was the glitch.
Yeah.
You know
that's your new name, Glitch.
Exactly. Folks, you can call or text us. It's 435-879-4100. 435-879-4100. We're on YouTube. We're on the TuneIn app. TuneIn is awesome. Just download that to your phone, your smart device, and it's free. Yeah, you can listen to us free. You can also jump on our Facebook page and ask us a question or tell me how bad I suck at this.
I was inspired when I heard that young lady make that announcement about the radio stations at Dixie.
Oh, okay.
I think I want to be a radio
Oh,
personality.
you are a radio star.
I'm going to get on the radio.
You should do that.
I know.
You should do that. All right, folks, we're
talking about cucumbers.
All right.
Well, there's a cucumber I want to tell you about. It's easy to grow. They're really fun. They get 12, 14, 16 inches long. They're Armenian cucumbers. They're from Armenia,
Okay.
Artie. And you can peel them up and slice them, and they're very mild, and they're wonderful.
Okay.
They have white flesh, and they really produce a lot of cucumbers, and they're getting really popular. You can buy the seeds for those. And then one of the other cucumbers, if you go back to 1890, are the pickling cucumbers. There's cucumbers you buy and grow to eat them in salads, and then there's a smaller one that you buy and grow to pickle them and make pickles out of them. Did you know a pickle used to be a cucumber?
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We learn something every day.
And they pickle them.
It takes a year for them to transform into pickles. Do they?
No.
How long does it take?
I think a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks? No, it does not.
Yeah, you put them in
for a pickle.
Yeah, you put them in the brine and you seal it and you let them sit for a couple of weeks.
Really?
And they turn into pickles. I'm not sure how long it takes,
but not a year.
But not a year.
Okay.
Another thing that you can plant and grow really easy are
remember the episode
eggplant.
Remember the episode of Annie Griffith's show where Aunt Bee thought she was a good pickle maker?
I don't
the recipe remember. Was actually horrible, but Opie and Andy had to pretend like
they liked them.
They liked them. Oh. And so she kept on making them because they kept on
saying how good they were.
Saying how good they were, and they were eating them, but actually they weren't eating them. They were, throwing them away.
Throwing them out the window.
Yeah, so, yeah. It was a good episode.
Eggplant is easy to grow, and a lot of people like eggplant. You probably don't, Artie, but a lot of people do.
If you cut it up and deep fry it, that'd be great.
You cut it up and fry it, but not deep fry it.
You don't dip it in batter and deep fry it and wrap it in bacon.
Yeah, and bacon and shrimp, and then you throw the eggplant away and eat the bacon and shrimp.
So tell us about eggplants.
Well, I can't. We're through with eggplant.
All right,
eggplant. You peel it and you slice it as thin as you can. Dip it in egg. The egg you beat up, put a little milk in it, beat it up, and then fry it on a grill. And when it's toasty brown, it becomes soft and it's ready to eat, and it's really good. Moving on from eggplant, we're to your favorite, kale. Kale. Easy to grow. Easy to grow. I don't particularly care for it, but there's 3 or 4 different kinds of kale. There's blue kale, there's dwarf kale, there's premium kale, there's all kinds of kale.
And everyone, well, not everyone, there's a lot of people that are really into kale.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Is it just a fad?
I think so.
I'm just eating kale.
Yeah.
People are pretending like they like it, just to be hip.
Things. Yeah, it's a health thing. So I'm not gonna knock it, but I particularly don't like it. So next thing I want to talk about is kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is wonderful.
You made that up. There's no such thing.
It's a word that's about a $9 word.
Is it kohlrabi?
Kohlrabi. And what kohlrabi is are you familiar with turnips?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what they look like. And turnips is a root that you grow below the ground. Mm-hmm. Okay, when you plant kohlrabi, it sends a stem up and it grows a vegetable above the ground, and it looks like a turnip. And then it has leaves that come off. Mm-hmm. And when they get about the size of a hard ball or a little bit bigger, You harvest them, you cut the stems off, you peel it, put them in the hot boiling water like you would a turnip, and soften them, boil them for 45 minutes, and then you drain them and put some butter, a little garlic, salt, and pepper, and they're great.
Oh.
And they're very similar to a turnip, only they're not as bitter.
Okay.
And they're quite popular. A leek. Do you know what a leek is?
No.
Yeah, it's not where you have a bottle and it's leaking.
Okay.
That is the same thing. A leek is a type of onion kind of thing.
Oh, so a lot of recipes call for leeks.
Leeks,
So
yeah.
what the heck is it? Is
leek,
it kind of like a green onion?
Yeah, it is, only it's big. It's about as big around as your thumb or even bigger. And it takes from spring all the way to fall to grow. They're real slow.
Are they expensive in the store? I haven't seen them in the store.
I don't think so. I don't think it's real usual to have leeks in the store, but I've never looked for them. They make soup out of them. They put them in soup a lot.
Oh, is it sweeter than a green onion?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is lettuce.
All right.
There's different kinds of lettuces. Everybody, when you think of lettuce, thinks of the iceberg. The iceberg is one that's not real popular in salads now because there's no food value in iceberg lettuce. They have, let's see, the different varieties. There's Caesars, there's Bib lettuce, there's Black Seed Simpson, there's Gourmet Blend, and they're all the same. You seed them, they come up in about 10 days. You have all these leaves that are 2 or 3 inches high. You trim them off with scissors and wash them and put them in a salad, and they're great. Or
those big leafy kinds that they put on the hamburgers and stuff like that. So.
Okay, so they're good. They're easy. Next item is mustard.
Okay.
You thought it was yellow and you put it on hamburgers,
so
right?
you can grow your own mustard?
You can. You can grow mustard, and it's like lettuce. It looks like lettuce.
Huh.
And when the leaves get 2 or 3 inches tall, you trim them, and you put them in salad. The difference is when you take one of these leaves and you put it in your mouth and chew it, it has a mustard taste to it.
Huh.
And so it makes a salad really good to have a little bit in them, not a whole bunch, not the whole salad, but just a little bit in the salad.
Okay.
And they have Florida broadleaf mustard seeds in the seed packages. Next one that you can grow from seed that's easy is okra.
Okay.
And that's from the southern part of the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know very much about okra. I've never grown it, and so I don't know why I brought it up. I think some people like it.
Well,
it's like a pod that grows on the plant, and you pick it, and it's got seeds in it, and I think you boil it.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm not an okra person, so. And then there's the next item they have are the onions.
I love
There's
onions.
Green onions, and they have little teeny seeds, and you just sprinkle them in the trench and put about 1/4 inch of soil on them, and pretty soon you'll have thousands of these little green onions growing up.
I have a question about onions or green onions. So when you use green onions to cook, do you chop up the green part and discard the little white bulb thing,
No.
or vice versa?
You chop up the bulb part and the first inch and a half of the green.
Okay, but not the whole green because
Not the whole green.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can put them in soup, or you can put them on a salad, or you can just eat them. You cut off at the end of the bulb where it has those little roots.
Yes.
You cut that off because that's tough and and hard to eat.
Yeah.
So those are bunching onions, they call them. I guess that's because when they pick them in a bunch and put elastic around them. And then the other type of onions are the large onions that we think of when we go to the produce department.
Vidala or...
Yeah. And they're usually grown from onion sets. And that's where you go and for about $3, you get a bag of 50 of these little onion pieces.
Okay.
And you put them in the ground and you start to water them and they start to grow. And down below the large round onion is growing, and it takes all summer for them to grow.
So it's above the ground or below the ground? They're
below.
So you have to dig. That's a lot of work. I don't want to dig those up.
Don't you?
No.
Oh. Well, I usually wet the ground and just pull them. But,
oh, okay. So all onions.
Yeah. There's the large type onions and there's the green onions.
Okay.
Are the two that you can plant. The next item is peas.
Okay.
Peas. Peas. Okay. And they grow in pods. And if you don't have them in the ground and they're already up and growing, it's too late.
Really?
Yeah, because peas are a cool weather plant, and it's already getting too hot for peas. So if you plant some tomorrow and the plant comes up within a week or two, the hot sun will kill them.
Love sugar snap peas.
Oh, they have, yeah.
They're so awesome.
They have them in salads and stuff now. You can grow them in the little pods, and yeah, they're great. And there's about 10 different kinds of peas.
Really?
And they have them all in the seed section. But just remember that if you're going to grow them, why buy them now and grow them next January. Okay.
Now, would that be a good planter? A planter?
No.
Plant a vegetable, or you put them directly in the ground?
Because, they have to have something to climb on.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, if you did put them in a planter, you'd have to have a trellis for them to climb up on.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
Next item are peppers, and peppers are really popular. And peppers make a really good plant for containers, Artie.
Oh, okay. So
and they're
baskets and
they're easy to grow. You can grow jalapenos. They have some, habaneros.
Yeah,
which are kind of hot.
Absolutely.
And jalapenos are hot to some people. Depends on your taste as far as peppers go.
Now, as far as jalapenos,
I like the taste of jalapenos.
Well, some of them are not that hot,
right?
Oh boy, I'm asking an ignorant question, but then again, all my questions are ignorant ones. Are they hotter because of the fact they're on the plant longer, or
they claim that the hot part of peppers is the seeds inside.
Okay.
So if you eat them whole, and you eat the whole thing, you put it in your mouth and chew it up. It's the seeds. They have an oil in them that is hot.
So it has nothing to do with when you plant or when you pick them. Actually,
no.
I thought when you pick them immediately, then they're less hot.
No.
Oh, I'm so stupid.
Yeah, you are.
See that?
No.
See that?
And then the other kind of peppers that you run across are like green bell peppers and yellow peppers, and they even have red bell peppers. Those are the kind of peppers that you cut up and put in, chili sauce, and they put them in omelets in the morning.
So what's the difference between the orange, red, and green ones?
There's no difference.
No difference.
It's just the color. Just the color.
Well, I noticed that the red is more expensive, but why?
Just because they're unusual.
Okay.
And they have seeds you can grow just red or just green or whatever. One of the fads that's going on in food eating right now is to use real hot peppers. So you can take your guests and burn their faces off.
That's the thing to do.
There's a thing called a ghost pepper.
Oh,
They're really nice and flavorful.
Pretty hot,
yeah. Like a jalapeno on their scale would be like a 200, and a ghost pepper would be 1,000,000.
That big of a difference?
It'll put people in the hospital.
Really?
Oh yeah. They'll have to pump their stomach. I mean, it can put you on the floor. Wow. Those ghost peppers. So if somebody says, "Here's a ghost pepper, I dare you to eat it," say, "Never mind. I don't
I'll do anything for $5.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
dare me to do something. I'll
get some ghost peppers for you.
Okay, we'll see how long I can keep it in my mouth.
Well, you have to chew it.
Well,
you know.
Okay, so I'll chew it.
Yeah.
I'll put it in my mouth, I'll chew it, and I'll see.
For $5, huh?
For $5 for 5 minutes.
Well, let's do it on the show.
Let's absolutely.
And see how long. Oh, wait a minute, though. I don't know how to operate the equipment. So when you die on the floor, I wouldn't know how to operate the equipment.
Well, neither do I.
Right.
I thought I put us off the air for 5 minutes, but I turned down the volume.
Next one to discuss are pumpkins. You can buy seeds and plant pumpkins.
Okay.
They have little teeny miniature ones called
mini pumpkins.
No, they're called Pumpkin Be Little.
And they're
a little bit bigger than a softball when they're done. They have small sugar pumpkins that are sweet, like you'd make pumpkin pie. They have jack-o'-lanterns that are the bigger ones that you carve. Mm-hmm. And then they have the giant pumpkins.
The state fair kind.
The state fair kind. I used to know a lady that grew those for the state fair, and they would run close to 600 or 800 pounds.
Wait, that's how much I weigh.
You could get a person inside of them. They're huge.
I'm pushing 800 pounds.
Are you? Well, let's take you to the fair. Maybe if we enter you in the pumpkin, we can win. Okay, radishes. We like radishes. Do you like radishes?
Absolutely not. I'm sorry.
A lot of different kinds of You what?
I don't like radishes.
You don't like radishes?
No.
They're wonderful in salads. They're wonderful to eat, just radishes. Put a little salt on them. Get them cold in the fridge.
I have such a dislike for radishes that when I go to one of those salad bars or, Golden Corral or that other place, Chuckarama, I actually take the bin from the salad bar when no one's looking and I just dump it in the trash.
Throw it away, huh?
I don't want anyone to have radishes because I have that much of a dislike for radish.
I see. You're trying to save population.
Absolutely.
A lot of different radishes. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. There's actually a white radish, and they're hotter than the red radishes. The red ones, what makes a difference with radishes is how long they're in the ground and the elements in the soil. Some radishes will be bitter. Some will be not so bitter. It depends on the ground they're put in.
And that's another thing that grows in the ground that you have to dig up.
You don't,
too much effort. I'm not going to do that.
What happens is as it grows, it'll start to push up. You'll be able to see the top of the radish up by the soil.
Oh, okay.
And then you can see and when they're about the size of a big marble, you pull them out and cut the tops off.
Yeah.
Next thing that we want to talk about is spinach. Spinach is very popular. There's different kinds. They have a new one called baby leaf spinach that you pick when it's barely 2 inches high, and you cut it with scissors, and then the leaves will grow again.
I absolutely love those in salad.
You?
Oh, yeah. I'll take that over lettuce any day.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, spinach is really popular. And, you can plant one row of spinach and use it all summer. It just keeps growing. Next thing is squash. I love squashes. I don't know if there's any kind of squash I don't like. But you can plant those from seed. You can buy the plants too, but they're so easy to grow from seed.
Are they?
And they trail out. They're a vine, so they kind of wander around your yard. I've had them grow up into the trees and hang down, and you go out and there's a big squash hanging out of your tree.
Now, how often do you have to water those things?
Oh, every day.
Okay.
Here, yeah.
So my
And it would be good. I think squash, the ideal thing for squash here would be to have the morning and early afternoon sun, but then to be in the shade in the hot part of the afternoon. That would be the ideal thing. They have Italian ribbed squash. They have black beauty. They have summer squash. They have golden summer squash. They have crookneck squash. They have all kinds of squash. They have Hubbard. They have winter squash. Now, let me explain to you the difference between summer squash and winter squash. You'll see them on the seeds. It'll say summer squash. Those are squash that you'll plant in the spring, and you'll actually harvest them about July time, July and August, okay? Winter squash doesn't mean that you grow them all the way through to winter. That name comes from the fact that in the pioneer days, they would grow an earth cellar. They would dig a cellar in their yard.
Okay.
And they would have a door that went down into it, and they would store stuff down there because it was cool. And they would put winter squash down there, and it would store all winter.
Wow.
And they could go down and get squash in January, and it would be fine. It doesn't rot like the summer squash does.
Now, what's your favorite kind of squash? You mentioned you like all kinds of squash.
I like the pink banana squash, the ones that get about 4 feet long and about 8 or 10 inches round, weigh 50 pounds.
Okay.
You have to cut them in pieces.
And then you peel out the seeds, right?
You peel out the seeds, put them in a dish with about a half-inch of water, put some clear plastic over them, put them in the microwave. And,
really? You microwave them?
Oh, they're wonderful. Put a little butter on them and microwave them for 10, 15 minutes, and they're great. That's my favorite kind. Since you asked, that's my favorite kind.
Okay.
Tomatoes aren't real successful from seed. Some people have the knack of being able to grow those from seed. I'm not one of them.
Now, why are they so difficult? Just because they...
I don't know, because they always come up for me and they get a couple inches high, and then they kind of sit there and don't do very well. And I think it's because I give them too much water.
Too much water?
Yeah.
Too much maintenance?
Yeah. It's easier just to go pay $1.50 and get a plant that's 14 inches high.
So they're a high maintenance plant.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Well, to me, they're not.
Okay.
The next group of things I want to talk about that's easy to buy and grow are herbs.
Okay.
Oh,
ignore the music.
Ignore the music.
Yeah, we still have 3 minutes.
Okay, herbs. They come in, you can buy basil. You can buy cat grass, Artie for cats. You can buy chives, garlic chives. You can buy the dill to make dill pickles. You can buy lavender to make lavender tea. You can buy oregano to spice your Italian food. You can buy parsley to put on your plate. You can buy rosemary to season your lamb when you cook it. You can buy sage, which is a real strong seasoning. You can buy spearmint. You can buy coriander or cilantro. That's for Mexican
Perfect for Mexican food.
Yeah. And
love cilantro.
we sell more of that herb right there, where if we sell 10 of some other kind, we'll sell 25 of those. People, it's easy to grow. They can go out and pick it and take it into the kitchen and put it in their Mexican food they're cooking fresh, and it's wonderful.
And selling, you're referring to the fact that you do sell seeds on the side.
I've been known to, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And that's the seeds that you can buy and put in yourself. And they, you can buy a package of seeds for $2.50, and you can get a row of radishes or lettuce or whatever. And it's inexpensive. Gardening doesn't have to be expensive.
Now, going back to the lavender really quick, that's actually kind of a trendy, popular thing right now.
It is.
Lavender.
And they make a tea out of it.
Okay. But also isn't there oil?
You turn purple. You turn purple.
You turn purple. Don't they have like a lavender oil that they extract from that?
Yeah, and they'll heat it. They'll put it in a container and heat it, and it makes a smell in your house of lavender.
Okay. It's supposed to have a calming effect to it, I think.
It does. It puts me right out.
Well, that's our show. That's it. This
has been an experience.
An action-packed show and an award-winning show.
If you ever do that to me again, turn off the volume. I'm going to hurt you really bad.
You know what? We were on the air the whole time.
I know.
And actually,
if they can't hear you, Artie, it doesn't count.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. So I stepped outside the studio while you kept on talking about carrots. And I called our wonderful friend, Sean Denovan, the instructor here. He's like, Sean, that's off the air. And then he asked me, so is it this, and this? And is the volume up? And I said...
so he said, up your volume, huh?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I feel really stupid. So anyway... Well, thanks to Sean Denovan, since we're talking about him. Thank you so much, Sean, for letting us do this, even though I bug you at 8 o'clock in the morning with dumb questions.
And thanks to Artie for being the producer guy.
I'm excited to be here every Saturday morning.
Thanks to me for being here.
Big thanks to Mom and Dad. Thanks to everyone in the ward. If I've ever offended anyone in the ward, I'm so sorry.
It's been a hunk of heaven, Artie.
All right, I think we're done. It's the Home and Garden Show.
I think it's like we're like a fish you've been cooking for an hour. We're done.
Right. Goodbye.
You've been listening to The Garden Show. For audio and or video of this show, go to Facebook or YouTube, Spotify or Podbean, and search Radio St. George, or go to the website radiostgeorge.com. Until next week, this has been The Garden Show with Artie and Woody on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
KDXI, St. George.
From the Center for Investigative Reporting in PRX, this is Reveal. I'm Al Letson. Across the South, people are fighting to save Confederate monuments.
God save the South! Woo!
They say the monuments are part of our history, but that history is being distorted at Confederate sites.
Slavery was good and bad. It was good for the people that didn't know how to take care of themselves.
Historical lies that tell a romanticized and false version of slavery.
To buy a slave back then was like buying a car today.